keep your head in Seattle when you have this big thing waiting for you, or is it?
For me, not really. No. My main focus for the last 2 years has been Seattle. So I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing, and my work ethic is not going to go down. Nothing. I'm going to put everything in I can. My main goal is to win MLS Cup here, and also US Open Cup, and we got a step closer today. So nothing's going to change. So I'm just excited for the rest of the season.
Can you talk a little bit more generally about today's news? I mean, it's been a meteoric 18 months for you.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing just to get it all over with. It's been a lot in the past month and a half. When it started off, it was pretty exciting, but as time went on, and just not knowing where you're going to be, it gets a little bit stressful. But I'm just glad to have it all done, and I'm excited it worked out for both parties. That I could stay here and try to win a cup, which is what I ultimately wanted to do. And then join them.
Were you in a position where you were kind of given a choice of where to play, not just here, but were there other teams that had offers that were essentially acceptable? But
yeah, definitely. I just felt Tottenham was the best fit for me. I feel that the playing style was the best fit for me, and I feel location-wise, I really enjoyed London. I've talked to some of the guys on the team, Oba and Jimmy, Clint, guys who have played in there, and they all suggested, England, and talked to Jurgen, and he suggested England. So I ultimately, that was my decision.
You saw that team up close and personal here last month. What was your impression of them, and how much did that influence your decision?
Yeah, I mean they were obviously in preseason, so they weren't the most fit. They were still getting guys worked out, but I thought they're a good team. Tottenham's a team that I've liked since I was little, and that I've haven't followed super closely, but obviously when you get a chance to follow a team in the Premier League, you do it. So they're a team that I've followed, and I'm just excited to be able to join them.
Tonight, first time pulling on the jersey since you knew that you were leaving, hometown team. Was it emotional at all going out there tonight with the home crowd?
Yeah, it was not like sad emotional, just excited. It's exciting to get back on the field. Anytime you step on the field in front of the fans, especially these fans, it's exciting. I think when it's my last game, that'll be this kind of sad emotional game. So.
Yeah, and you said that it had been kind of a long stretch. You didn't really know how it was going to go. Do you feel freed up at all tonight? A little bit less pressure to just kind of go out and play?
There's kind of a weight off my shoulders. I know where I'm going to be next, and now I can just relax and focus on Seattle. And that's just the main thing. Is right now it's just focusing on Seattle.
They're pretty big extremes. Like this morning, your dream move is announced, and this evening you're playing in front of 5,000 people. I mean, right. That's a huge kind of opposite ends of a scale.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I think we've all seen the crowds here. They're electric. I think this venue especially is good for these kind of games, just because it's an amazing atmosphere. I know all the guys in there love playing here. Not necessarily because of the field, but the atmosphere is just it's amazing here. So we have no problems with playing here.
So do you think you took a hard knock just before the goal, and Clint took a lot of hard knocks when he rejoined MLS? Do you think you're going to be a target now for the rest of the league, possibly? I'm preparing for that, but I don't think any player in this league really just goes out to just really hurt another player. Obviously there's some guys who may get a little hot-headed, but I don't think that's the goal of any player. So you always have to be prepared, and that's what I'll do. So it's not a huge worry of mine. Were you okay after the hit?
Yeah, I'm fine.
In the 7th minute, you had a nice move. You broke Alex's ankles as if you were on the basketball court. What goes through your mind when you see somebody fall backwards like that?
I actually didn't even see him fall. My head was kind of turned the other way, and I just heard the crowd kind of do that, and I thought back to the Animal mixtapes, and I knew when the crowd goes crazy like that, the guy probably fell. But yeah, it happens. It's happened to me before. It's not the most fun thing, but just get on with the game.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, DeAndre.